Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. The topic of this video specifically is the animated film Superman vs. the Elite. So if you can't tell, I'm recommending it because I absolutely love this film, but let's get in to the specifics of why. This film, Superman vs. the Elite, is based on the comic book What's So Funny About Truth, Justice and the American Way. And it essentially really puts Superman through his paces morally. One of the best DC animated films in general, but the best DC animated Superman film because it really explores the moral ideologies of his character. The 20th century morals of truth, justice, and the American way, and standing as the champion of the American people, and specifically, not killing, always allowing the system to work, and the faith in the flag and the system. And it really explores Superman's 20th century morals when impacted with a cynical 21st century world. Goodness knows what's happening, geopolitically, war and so forth, which I think hits even harder today. Superman is faced with the general moral challenge of, do his morals fit this world anymore? Can he still be called their champion, their hero, the one that stands for truth, justice, and the American way? Or should he change things up, how he does things? Do people consider heroes, as in superheroes, costumed heroes, do they consider that superheroes should kill? Is that considered truth and justice in the modern outlook of the day? And should he change that? Can he change that morally in his own self? The human nature with which he was raised, regardless of his alien physiology. Can he change that morally? Should he change that morally? There are really interesting conversations being had amongst the action, and to clarify, the Elite are essentially a ragtag bunch of individuals that the American government found after they had trouble controlling their powers, and used as Manchester Black, the head of the Elite, puts it, the token British leader. I love that they called him Manchester as well, it's hilarious. But as Manchester Black puts it, during a disenfranchising tour in Africa, so they were literally government weapons for the American government, went completely off the radar, went rogue, and eventually meets up with Supes after basically deciding and observing Superman's way, and basically trying to make the people realise that he can stand for America better, their team can stand for America better, and when a series of incidents is resolved violently and unnecessarily, Superman tries to step in their way very publicly, and so they call Superman out. And instead of just answering the challenge with brawn and fists, and truth, justice, and the American way, and him waiting for the people to cheer him on, there are actually debates, Senate hearings, the world reacting to essentially what Manchester Black stands for and the rest of his team, if America do stand behind them. There's a debate, conversation about, without the role of martial law, should superheroes do this? And Superman is still standing on the side of the traditional truth, justice, and the American way, and basically saying, we can do this within the law, good isn't perfect, but there is a justifiable reason why we use the traditional, good, moral, legal system. To me, that's what makes this film great. It challenges Superman's traditional morals, and actually makes him give reasons for fighting them, both in all the conversations and scenes. There is no time wasted here with character conversations. Every character's established moral view, whether it's skewed or clear, depending on what side of the line it's on, or whether it's mixed, like even Lois Lane chimes in with some interesting takes as a human being in the middle of these superheroes basically having a political debate and leading to a duped out fight. And it sounds a bit boring when I say the words having a political debate leading to a fight, but trust me, it's well worth it. You have people like Manchester and his team, which in the short time they get to shine are all established as interesting characters. Definitely worth watching the whole story to see unfold. Their backstories are interesting throughout. This really takes Superman and Clark Kent and puts all sides of him on full display, having to defend his moral views, which are traditionally haven't really changed in the comics since his inception, and really does that better than any modern comic book I've seen, although I think this was relatively modern for the time it came out. But this is the standpoint for me of, oh, Superman is cool. It's really cool, because it's him understanding the moral grey areas of his art, and standing by them, and arguing both in conversation and in fight. in an absolutely epic fight why this works, why his way can work, why the system is justified, why truth, justice, and the American way isn't just a phrase. What it means to him, and presumably to a lot of Americans at the time. I'm not American, so I can't speak to that. But it really resonated with me, and it really gave the traditional hero and what it means to be that. Sometimes it is just someone who gives a shit and does something about it, like said in things like Jessica Jones, but it's also someone who's willing to stand by their morals whilst saving people's lives, willing to die for humanity if it comes to it, and this really personifies that point and hits it home in a really fun way, even if me rattling on about it doesn't sound fun. But genuinely, this film is great. The action is on point, the animation is great. No scene is wasted here, and I'm gushing, so I'm going to stop. The action is on point, the voice acting, besides Manchester Black as a British stereotype, is quite good. He kind of sounds like they just went, we don't know how to make a British person sound. We'll make it sound like Constantine if he was a villain. That's what I get from that. It does work. I'm ragging on it I'm exaggerating for effect. It does work quite well. It's just funny to me as a British person hearing that accent sometimes. I don't know if the person who did it was British. If so, I'm so sorry that I'm basically saying your voice does not sound British at all. I don't know if anything's even matched how well Superman is done in this film for me, I'm going to be honest. But this is Superman personified. This is Superman at a quintessential look, and it's great. Quintessential look at his character, his morals, his reasons, his humanity. Absolutely brilliant. And this is a brilliant Superman film. And if you're not a great fan of Superman, like you like him but you're not sure if there's anything that can make you think, wow, I understand this guy and I really want to root for him, I think this film will do that for you. If you are a great fan of Superman, then this is one to definitely check out. I'm just going to end this by saying I highly recommend you buy this on DVD and digital and every other form you can get it in, because it's great. If you're in the UK like me and you want to get this on DVD, it's a bit difficult these days. I paid like £15 to import this from America when I had a region-free DVD player when it first came out. It seems that you still have to do that unless you buy the Superman box set of like 5 films. That's the only UK version you can get it in as a joint group of films, which I think right now on Amazon stands at like 10 quid max, because I just checked it before this video, and it's well worth it, that 10 quid for Superman vs. the Elite alone, and many reviews on there have said that as well. So I'm not the only one who's saying that, but I would definitely say it is. But you get a few other films as well, so if you haven't picked this film up, I advise you to pick it up in every format you can, so that you don't lose access to it, because it's brilliant. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this film. I don't know whether the politics in it make it divisive, or whether you think it's too cut and dry with the moral debates and arguments. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like this film as much as I do? Do you wish I'd stopped talking about 10 minutes ago? Comment below and let me know. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You can finally stop listening to me ranting, and you can finally go now.